Hey, how's it going? Hello, fellow otakus. Welcome to Otaku International Podcast. I'm Ike Senpai. Welcome to this week's podcast on Black Clover 284 chapter review. Here with me hosting today, we have Kiwi-Chan,
Hi.
and we have our special guest from the ABD Discord, guest host Andrech. Really fast, what's your affiliation with anime?
It's more of a pastime. I kind of just enjoy watching anime. I guess you could say I love shonen. I dabble in just about everything you can think of because I just find it to be interesting. I've been watching it ever since I started college, and I'm basically finished with college now. So here I am.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, just so you all know and you're aware, we'll be talking about the new Dryad race, the introduction of the being able to use ultimate magic, luck versus the mid-rank demons. Noct, is this is defeat, or is this gonna pull something out of nowhere? We're gonna rate the chapter overall 1 through 10, and we are gonna be taking some questions from the chat about Black Clover 284 and other questions about anything anime related or just anything in general. Do me a favor, please keep your questions till the Q&A portion and feel free to donate at any time. All donations go to the development of the channel so we can bring it in better content for you and everyone else. So very quick, let's get this started. The new Dryad race and the introduction to them being able to use the ultimate magic. Very quick, Kiwi, what do you think about that?
I like it because of we get introduced to a new race. So I think that with how the chapter is going, we have new race, and especially after the arc, we get to see more interesting world after that.
Nice. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's this new introduction is very interesting. It's like every time we get into a new arc, they're introducing like new races, new characters, and it's kind of like speeding it up, kind of giving us a big world. How about you, Andrech?
Well, to be honest, like the whole Dryad race, it's interesting within itself because it's added world building, but it's kind of like surprise added world building, if that makes sense. Like we all kind of expected the elves were going to come into play in this arc, but I don't think anybody really expected like elves plus new race of being, like because when you think about dryads, they're kind of like a nature spirit kind of thing outside the elemental people. So maybe that offers up some potential power ups for certain characters like Mimosa or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So ultimate magic, though, I think we could have waited, but at the same time, I don't know what other power creep they could make for this show. So I don't know. Maybe Tabata can come up with something even better than ultimate magic.
I see what you mean about that one. Yeah, I think the introduction of the dryads is it's kind of, not gonna lie, it's kind of random just to bring them out of nowhere. I know they just brought us one character, but it is something new, like I talked about before, and it's something that's just kind of, I guess they're trying to introduce this whole character build, which the dryads, the dwarves, the elves, and it's kind of bringing in that whole mystical world idea. With the ultimate magic, like I'm not gonna lie, they were, as soon as they learned it and showed up, and they just, I don't know, they just yeeted everyone in their path, every single one of them. It wasn't one, it wasn't two, it was all of them used it, and I thought that was one of those things that kind of they kind of put the scale a little higher than we expected it to be at.
Yeah.
Well, the problem for me is like not only did they like make the scale super super high for them, they just kind of obliterated the whole main purpose of like overpowered magic, if that makes sense. Like the whole elf arc was all about Asta using his anti-magic with to defeat these OP elves with their OP magic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about this whole arc, everybody is getting overpowered to defeat an enemy that is even more overpowered for like demonic reasons, I guess you can say. And it just kind of makes the whole concept of magic in the story about a guy without magic beating everybody else makes magic look inferior to all other to demon powers at all. You know what I'm saying? it's just
Exactly.
it doesn't really, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth regarding everybody learning ultimate magic, because when you think of ultimate magic, you think of licks like conquering Eon's sword, like one-shotting a demon, but luck just cutting off a monster's hand doesn't really show me much regarding like ultimate magic, you know.
Yeah,
I like him
part was
going.
kinda,
I like
that
him
just came
turning
out of
himself into a
nowhere.
lightning bolt and going through somebody better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, that is exactly true. I think this ultimate magic thing is, it's just the power scale has been,
Yeah.
I don't know, it put them so high. What do you think about that power scale, Kiwi?
I feel like it's they take it way too much. I felt like seriously, I felt like it was broken, honestly. I felt like it was a thing. It was broken. I especially with Asta, I was like, what am I seeing? Like what?
I feel like the Asta part made sense when he came in. He just sliced that demon in half. But when now we got, God, we got everyone up there just using the
Yeah.
ultimate magic, just a laser beam just taken across the whole playing field. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. I was kind of confused. Whose barrier magic was that at first? Did
Yeah.
they explain that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they explain that, but one thing I do know about Asta's like power creep is like, where does he go from here at this point? Like when I figured that like he would get a power up in the sense that he would be able to do Unity mode, I figured he'd unlock the ability to use inherent anti magic. You know, I didn't expect a full demon transformation. You know, the big, like the thing that everybody has been waiting for the end of the series. You know what I'm saying? Like low key, everybody's been waiting for a full demon transformation, but then they just throw it out there right at the start of the like right at the start of the arc, essentially, like the whole war. And then they give him a cool Wizard King moment. I think they could have had the Wizard King moment without the full demon transformation, because we've already seen him being able to make a giant dark sword that appears into the sky and cut a whole fortress in half.
Yep.
I don't think they needed a full demon transformation. I think it's rushing the whole story ahead for some reason. Because at this point, where does he go from here? Yes, he's overpowered for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What is he going to do to upgrade that? Is he going to be able to hold it for longer this time? Or is he going to be like the ultimate anti-magic guy? Or is he going to get like different powers with swords? Or
I feel like the scaling of the ultimate...
with Quip though. Like you can have it with Quip magic. Like
he doesn't have any magic. That's the problem.
I mean like demon Quip. That's what I meant.
Yeah, you know what? With this ultimate magic, I kind of feel like it was needed-ish. And the only reason I say that is because, you know, the demons, like for the Tree of Caliphate, like that right there is, I don't know what to say, but that tree, all those demons, they're just way too overpowered. So I felt like bringing them up to this level for this ultimate magic might at least put them, I guess, at a good playing field against them. I'm just not sure if they're going to be doing one-on-ones. I don't know if they're going to be doing team-ups or anything like that. But you know what? That goes along with bringing up on the next subject. What do you guys think about luck versus these mid-ranked demons? I'm not going to lie. I like the ultimate magic and everything, but I feel like that right there was putting the scale a little high. What do you think, Andrech?
I mean, I've already told you, man. It's like utterly. It's kind of ridiculous. Like I liked his original. I really thought his form whenever the elf arc happened with his horns coming out like he was a little devil. I thought that was really cool. But like all they really did was just turn him into a lightning bolt. And if you call that ultimate magic, I don't really know what I don't really know what ultimate magic is, if that makes sense. Like, because he did the same thing in the Heart Kingdom fight. He turned himself into a lightning bolt, but now it's just a lightning bolt that looks like a demon, but behaves like a lightning bolt, huh? Except instead of going through somebody's heart, he's just cutting off somebody's hand.
Yeah,
I don't really. There's not really much hype involved, especially since like everybody, especially when you talk about ultimate magic, like everybody channels their ultimate magic. Like everybody just took a book out of Leo's guide to magic and did a spiral flame straight down the line and attacked every single demon, like low level demon. Like it was kind of lazy in the sense that like normally shonen would try and show like upgrades people get, which they did at the start of the arc, mind you.
Mhm.
It showed like the people's upgrades one at a time, but the whole
Mhm.
ultimate magic thing literally seemed like, we know ultimate magic, everybody attack.
Yeah.
And nobody really can go into depth about like what kind of upgrades people got. Everybody was just like, oh, Mimosa has ultimate magic. She can shoot a super flower now. It's better than her last flower. Like you just kind of
Yeah.
have to assume, like you don't really know.
Exactly.
That's
What about you, Kiwi?
When it comes to the chapter, with Locke, I be honest with you, I was kind of disappointed with Locke because, like, the one when he was with Elf, I thought that was more badass than this
Uh,
one. I felt like it was like, we already know he can turn into a lightning bolt, and it's just I need something a little flair from him, honestly.
uh-huh.
But, it's just I to me it's like I just didn't like it. I didn't feel the like with Asta, I felt like, ooh, that was so epic, badass. To him, it's just okay.
It seemed like a cakewalk for him, huh?
No, it seems like it's niche. Like, okay, it's okay. And the rest is like with this form, I'm just thinking, is he now more powerful? I mean, he kinda learned more of the elf magic. Now this is he kind of in the level of arcane magic now,
Mhm.
His luck is
Hmm.
like really strong and stuff. So I was thinking maybe he's in arcane magic. I don't know. It depends on what people think about.
That's interesting to think about. Like I think when they first introduced these demons, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie, they made them seem like they were like I don't know, they were the absolute stuff on the field, and they
Yeah.
were about to start murking some people even after they just cleared out all the demons. But then all of a sudden they come out with this big scene, mid-ranking devils, and they're just coming out there and they kind of like, oh, we got this. You guys
Yeah.
aren't anything. And then just like that, luck comes in and cleans it up. And I was like, oh, whoa,
They're about
what
as
was
worthwhile
this?
as like the Smile Trio from Mob Psycho, if you've ever watched that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they really are. It's like my smile will send you to a smile maelstrom, which will, what I'm saying. It doesn't really like what they they're BA for this like
Mhm.
distinct reason of trying to look like they're a challenge, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
meanwhile, Noct is not to jump ahead or anything, but Noct is like actually fighting something monstrous inside,
Yeah.
which is kind of it gives me a weird vibe that most shonen
Yeah.
anime like to do. They like to give enemies they like to give their characters that they don't want involved with the main violence like
Uh-huh.
kind of a backseat monster to fight and say that they can beat, but it'll take some time. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing that they're doing here with Luck in them. They're like, oh man, these guys are gonna take some time, maybe 3 or 4 chapters worth.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah, I was thinking when they first introduced this portion, I thought, like, you know what? We're probably gonna get let's see. We'll probably get Mimosa fighting someone. Maybe we'll get like we
Yep.
saw Luck fighting someone. What is the other Vermilion kid, the youngest one? Lepolio? How do you say his name?
Vermilion? Oh, Leopold? No,
Yeah, yeah, Leopold.
Kirsch is Kirsch
Leopold.
Vermilion.
Yeah.
Just,
Not
I like
Kiers,
him.
but
Mhm.
Leopold. I was hoping for them to get some one-on-one time against these demons so we can see where we
Ooh.
can actually scale them.
Mhm.
But instead they just kind of just
We don't
cleared
even
them off
see their
the table.
magic that much because, like, they're supposed to
Yeah.
be beings of like pure evil magic.
That
Mhm.
is
That
true.
if they
That is
possess a
true.
human being, their powers get exponentially increased. But like, we just kind of see them look swole and walk
Uh-huh.
up and look like they want to claw someone's face off. Or it's just like,
Exactly.
aren't these creatures supposed to be like manipulative monsters? But it doesn't really
That
make any sense.
that makes perfect sense, and that's pretty crazy how they wanted to end it like this, or I'm sorry, they wanted to start it like this because this is technically
Mhm.
the beginning of the battle as they open the gates of hell. Start to open the gates of hell. So moving to our next question. So Nox is this his defeat, or is he just gonna pull something out of nowhere? Like, what do you think, Kiwi?
I think that he's going to be uh out of commission for a while after what his stab was. It's like honestly,
Ooh.
I feel like he's gonna be out of commission, but don't worry, it's one of those shonen. He's gonna come back as a badass with his demons and ready to go. I feel like he's the guy from what's that series? Soul Leveling. He's one of those have that control demons ready to pop out some things and it's like, I'm ready to go. Like, he's waiting to recover his mana and it's like ready to hit that, like thing. So I feel like he's waiting for the right time. I think he's just rest because he's tired and he has to deal with us though. That's just me.
It's kind of in a sense like he's kind of holding it back, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see exactly that. I know what you mean on there. How about you, Andrech?
I'm pretty sure it's like part of his plan to get hit because I don't remember. I don't know if you remember, but a couple of chapters ago, he literally told the demon to die with him, quote unquote. And he's known to control multiple animalistic demons. And I guarantee you, the demon he told to die with him was a cat. Cats have 9 lives, and that's his whole thing. Is to die with me. That's where I think I'm going with this. You know what I'm saying? The guy kind of controls animalistic demons in the sense of like one was like a turtle, one was like a dog, and obviously if he's gonna order someone to die with him, it's going like. Doc doesn't strike me as the kind of person that will just die in a fight like that. I'm pretty sure if he's ordering somebody to die with him, it's because he's not going to die. He's just going to get knocked down, and then one of his demon powers are going to, quote unquote, resurrect him. That's what I think. Because, I mean, you also have to take into account that they had that they made a huge big deal about the green praying mantis's captain. I can't remember his name right now. Jack the Ripper. They made a huge deal about this. They made an entire chapter about this dude's dad going out hunting and getting killed by a bear, only to have him get bodied by the guy. I guarantee you, this is building up to something going on. Like Jack the Ripper can't be out yet. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a serious like why did I waste my life watching that chapter if he's just going to die in a fight like that?
Yeah,
I was thinking the exact same thing. It was like, wait a minute, what was this? Kiwi, how about you?
For me, I was like, no. This is like, I was like, when I was in this chapter, I read it. It was pretty good, but I was just, like I said, I was disappointed with luck and everything. But other than that, overall, like it was like pretty cool, especially Nox. I was kind of nervous about my boy because like I was just like thing, but I remember that Nox is like a Yami at sense. I like him as a character.
Okay.
And so I was like, like if I could, like, I know I might get hate, but I'd rather choose him over Yami.
I see you there because you know what? This whole showing this the scene of him broken down like that, and just getting impaled with the 2 demons there. Like, you know what? I feel like you said, he is not showing his full potential, and maybe he's trying to trick them so he can get the upper hand because he's going against 2 of them. He's going against 2 devils that are just one of the most powerful within the freaking I think it's called what is it? The Purgatory Plane. And so these 2 devils with their ice magic makes sense. Purgatory.
Yeah.
But these devils, I feel like he can definitely use more than 1 demon at the same time. That's what I think. One more than 1 devil. I think he definitely can, and I feel like he's holding that opportunity back. And hopefully, maybe Jack gets up. Maybe Dante, I don't know, gets sliced up, and he probably does something because I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Maybe someone will come in, but I definitely think I don't think Knock's down. I think he's probably, let's say, playing possum right now.
But I
playing possum. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, go ahead.
I still need to see more for Jack the Ripper. As much as he's rival to Yami, I still want to see him more of it. Honestly,
Definitely, as Andrew said, like they give him a whole almost a whole chapter of character development, and where did it go? Him getting thrown to the wall like it was nothing. And I was just like, come on now.
He also got blades all over his body and eyeball, like that one episode of My Hero Aka. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow,
man.
I'm so BA. Look at me, dude. I have blades in my eyeballs. Come on. I don't understand.
Wait.
I never understood the appeal of that.
Wait, do you think he's gonna die though?
Jack?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't think any of the main characters, main captains, are going to be dying anytime soon. I don't. It's just it's a shonen. Come on now.
If you're going to have a whole chapter dedicated to the backstory of why a guy is fighting somebody, in my personal opinion, you don't really start off the backstory and then watch him get bodied.
Yeah.
And then have him come back and fight. What you got to do is have him go into the fight, get bodied, and then it just plays the backstory. So it gives it you just understand his motivations, and then he comes back and beats somebody. That's how a shonen works. That just looks really stupid whenever you have a backstory of this is why I fight, and then the guy just gets knocked on his butt and just gets flattened by these two demons.
Man.
That reminds me of One Piece.
I definitely, it's just this moment, God, they're not even showing us what these devils can do. That's the one thing that's upsetting me. There's so many scenes going on at the same time, so much stuff going on. I'm sorry, but priority is those devils right now. I want to see them fighting. That's what I want to see.
That's I feel like that's half the reason people have a bad taste in their mouth regarding this chapter and Ultimate Magic is because we're oh my God, there's a huge fight going on in the castle. What do we do? Oh, by the way, hi, I'm Dryad. I teach you ultimate magic, laser beams. Just But what about the plot? Everybody's just Asta, is Asta there yet?
No, but honestly, with one thing that I was kind of depressed, and the thing that about the tree of the I can't explain that. Yeah, the polythought, it was really interesting, but the problem is that we want to get to more because we already revealed 2 demons appeared there already after the Dante situation with that, the triad, and then now those 2 demons. I want to see by the time they save Yami and thing, I want to see how many demons comes out there and how dangerous could be, because if you're pulling out all the ultimate magics, why not pull them all out, some things, and we could see what this ultimate magic can take, because they said the more levels you get further down, the more powerful the demons.
Oh yeah, I imagine, but at the same time we were all hyped up in this story about if the demons get released, then 90% of the world's population will die, and all the little ones are dead. And all we have left are a handful of some monsters that are just in the castle.
Well,
are they going to escape, and that's going to carry us into the next arc, or what's going to be the big bad? Is it going to be the government itself?
So that's not all the demons, though. That's only the lesser demons who were stuck within purgatory. Because there's a whole bunch of different levels, and the first level is purgatory, and then moving on down, you have all the different type of sins. So I feel like when we start moving into those categories, it's going to get even worse and worse and worse. And that's one thing that's going to kind of, I think that's what's this whole ultimate magic. I think that's where this is going to play a part. Definitely. The ultimate magic is probably going to play a big part in it. I don't know if this is all going to happen within this one day, but they're definitely going to be unlocking each one, and there's going to be more and more demons, stronger demons, the more they start coming out.
Question is what I want to know is if this arc is going to end with all the demons escaping and Yami and them getting set free, and then it just cuts into about 200 episodes of the bad guy of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. You know what? On that sense, I'm kind of waiting for what's going to happen, because there has to be something dramatic that happens at the end of this. It just has to happen. There's no way we're going to go through all this entire thing and there's not going to be one sacrifice. So, I guess that we can save that one for another time. Very quick. Let's get moving. let's go ahead and rate this chapter 1 to 10. What do you guys think? Starting with you, Andrew.
Come back to me on that one. That's a tough question.
Okay. How about you, Kiwi? What do you think? 1 out of 10. What do you overall rate for this chapter, this specific chapter?
I have to give it a 7.
A 7. Why 7?
I told you my problem with luck, and
Well, it's
I'm
not 6 and it's not 5, so why 7?
and my boy not. And I was a little disheartened about like I like the new Dry, but like the thing she said, oh welcome, like the thing I'm like, like are we in a twist story going happy? It was more like dangerous hype and stuff like that to like, oh welcome, I'm a Drake, and I'm like, what? I'm like, that don't make sense. And then
I
oh,
think it's personally, I think it's probably a 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10.
mhm.
And the reason why is like, I'd like to think that they could have done so much better job to introduce that kind of a character. Like Dryad could have been so much more interesting. Like compare Dryad's entrance to the Water Spirit's entrance. You know, the Water Spirit is like, surprise, Water Spirit is this big, gigantic, and then this like Dryad's like, hi, I'm Dryad, teach you ultimate magic, bye. And then next thing you know, you're fighting in the royal capital.
Yeah.
Like that's not a character that I'm going to remember that well. It's just I'm just gonna remember it as the chick that looks like the Water Spirit, except instead of water, she has ivy covering her.
Yeah, that was.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where that fan service is. I know there's plenty of fan service in this, but that was just out of nowhere.
You're telling me, man.
I'm not gonna lie. That moment actually reminded me of Noelle going from her water form and then changing into her mermaid form, and then all of a sudden her clothes disappeared.
Mhm.
I don't understand what happens there, but that's whatever. So now we're back at you, Andrew. 1 out of 10.
I've told you, man, it's 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 for me, man. It's just the story is just so, for this one chapter, it's just kind of whack, man. You just kind of start off in like doom and gloom, and then it's like, hi, I'm Dryad, and then it's like laser beams. Then it just cuts to them doing laser beams all together, which is kind of interesting. You know, it's cool.
Facts.
It's
sorry.
like, it's interesting and cool, right? I imagine animated it's going to be great, but in terms of analyzing a single chapter that we're given, if I'm looking at this chapter, it is absolutely the epitome of terrible story. Because first of all, Dryad should not have been introduced to, hi, I'm Dryad, here's ultimate magic, bye. She should have been like, why are you in my domain? Oh, I'm here to learn ultimate magic to fight the demons.
Exactly.
What happened to that? I don't understand. Like, why are we throwing this character in at the last possible second before they need ultimate magic, quote unquote? They didn't. If you ask me, they didn't need ultimate magic for this.
No, not at the exact time. No, definitely not.
They didn't need ultimate magic for this, and they don't. That's like something they should learn, like at the end game when they're fighting to be the Wizard King at the end. You know, it's like ultimate magic's supposed to be ultimate. Like, what's after that? Are they gonna do like super ultimate magic?
Are we gonna go? If you think of that, when the elves came in and they were using ultimate magic, that's kind of, didn't they kind of normalize it when they came in and started using it?
Not exactly, because elves, like just like Licht said, or Patry said, I'm still getting confused by this too. He did a good job. He said the elves naturally can do it on their own, if that makes sense, because they're kind of like divine creatures. They can use all that magic, but Licht say essentially Patry's like, oh, we could teach you how to do this by using the training you've gotten from the Heart Kingdom. So essentially now they have zero limitations. If that's exactly what Patry's telling us, is that as long as they can draw magic from the land around them, they cannot run out of magic power.
Yeah, that is true.
At all.
That's interesting. That kind of, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of reminds me of Bleach. Like Ichigo being, the poor ratio have random places and stuff like that. Now they're kind of on that same playing field. They can just pull natural energy anytime. So,
but like, what is that going to do to any kind of fight that you'll have, if that makes sense? Like especially in this kind of anime, if you look at the beginning of this anime, it's just like, I'm almost out of magic. It kind of builds tension, right? You're like, oh man, are they gonna run out of magic before Asta can bring down Veto? You know what I'm saying? Like Vanessa and Finral coming together for that. That was a great fight. That was very interesting, keeping you at the edge of your seat for like God knows how long, you know. But now it's just like, oh, it's fine. I'll just pull spatial matter out of the air.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think, you know what? If 1 out of 10, I think I would definitely rate it. I would rate it a 7, just as Kiwi said. And the reason I'm gonna rate it at a 7, all right? Because honestly, I thought it was an even 5 because of the way they were just layering things on layering things on layering things on layering things. But 6, the way they introduced the demons, that's 1. And then an answer for the demons, which is it makes sense for Luck to actually go in there head first before anybody else while he already has his magic. He's not going to wait. He's not going to wait to use his magic. He's going to jump in and yeet as many people as possible because he's Luck, of course. And then you know what? That brought me to a 6. But the suspense at the end bringing me to a 7. And the reason I say that is because of not just it's giving us a look at the 2 devils that fought him. We got to see what their power was. That's 1. And then 2, this form of Nock being impaled and stuff like that. I don't see any of his devil powers anywhere. So that is another step of us kind of like allowing us to think about that and saying, oh, wait a minute, this is definitely not going to be the last of him. He definitely would have had like one of his devils on his shoulder. He would have had his power enveloped all through him and stuff like that. And you know what? I think that's what tipped me over to 7. Just that cliffhanger they left for us. But the rest of it, it's definitely not going to get an 8. It's definitely not going to get a 9.
Yeah, I mean, like it depends on what you think of a cliffhanger. You know, if you think of a cliffhanger, it's just like, yeah, I want to see what happens next episode. It's just like cliffhangers also notoriously bad in some sense. It's just like, man, why are you going to give us a cliffhanger after this chapter? Like, come on now.
Oh yeah,
it's I don't really think 5 is a low score in the sense that I kind of received half a chapter.
Oh yeah, I see.
That's what I'm saying. All they really did is just kind of skewed. I'd say introducing Dryad this way, they just kind of skewed 20 chapters, if that makes sense. They just kind of shoved us ahead for the point of convenience, and I think that's that's terrible writing.
Yeah,
just being honest.
So going ahead and moving on, we're gonna go ahead and do the Q&A portion. All right, about Black Clover 284. I see one question right now. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up there. It's by Iron Venom.
All right. And does it say, what's you guys' opinion on certain series not getting deserved attention from the shonen communities?
Wow. You know what? Who wants to attack this one first?
I will.
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead, send it.
Okay, so there's some series like, you know, like the classics and stuff. They're still good, like, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho or The Gray Man or other series that is pretty good. Doesn't show like the deserve. It's because you're competing with the big time, you know, like Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero. They're overshadowing good series, and you know, everybody's getting into the hype train. Of course, it's just yeah, I understand it's not fair, but you have to get it on. It's what business is. They will get more of like the attention. If everyone likes Jujutsu Kaisen, they'll go Jujutsu Kaisen. If they want to go Attack on Titan, they will go Attack on Titan. It's how people are drawn into anime. That is good for both anime communities and also bad thing. It's a 50-50. So in a sense, I would understand why people is not getting attention to it.
I see exactly what you mean. You know what? I think sort of the same way. One of the things that I see for that though is, you know what? All these shonen that we have mainstream and stuff like that. One of the main reasons why they're getting shown in the first place is because they're getting funded by these big, what is it? Streaming services in Japan. In Japan, they're actually pushing those towards those streaming services because they know it's going to get more money. But for all those extra ones, this is just me, but I don't just watch shonen. I watch all the animes for all these winter, summer, spring. I watch all of them. I give every single one of them one episode chance, and then I see, hey, what are we looking at? And then that's when I choose which ones I'm actually gonna keep watching. And you know what? Which is kind of bad for me because I end up watching way too much anime, and my wife's like, "What are you watching this time?" How about you, Andrew? How about you for that question?
This is an interesting question because the way he frames the question is, what is your opinion on certain series not getting attention from the shonen community? And first of all, I want to dissect what the shonen community is.
That is true.
And I'm serious. There's no
Iron Venom.
There's
let
no
me hear
four.
What you think about that.
There's no one. There are two kinds of people that are in the shonen community. There is the goldies, and then there's the oldies.
Yep.
The goldies go around to every shonen. They're like, "Ooh, action! Ooh, action! This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." And then the oldies sit there and look at the goldies and go, "Huh, I bet you haven't watched Naruto all the way." That's all they really do. The shonen community is constantly at battle with itself over what is the best shonen and what isn't the best shonen.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That is true.
We'll save that question for later, just so you know.
I mean, that is true. I mean, we oldies,
what you got to understand is when the shonen community looks at something, I'm pretty sure everybody that watches anime all the time always keeps their eyes to what's coming out. They always try and see what new series are out because I imagine everybody that likes it is perpetually bored and only likes to watch it. So if we look at a series and we go, it's not Naruto, I mean, there's like two kinds of people. Like if you like Naruto that much, just go watch Naruto.
Honestly, I would say when you're watching these animes, just judge that specific anime for itself. Don't judge it for other animes out there. That's me. Like I don't judge it for Naruto. I don't judge it for One Piece. I don't judge it for Dragon Ball Z. I don't judge it for any of those. I judge all those in their own categories. Like when someone says, "What's your favorite anime?" That is hard for me because I know Naruto is my favorite ninja anime. I'm gonna say that right now. I know One Piece is my favorite pirate anime. I was like, there's just so many different things. Like I can't. If you're like one of those avid anime watchers and you're always watching different animes, it's really hard to just pick because you're understanding each one of them for itself. I would just say for that person,
people
try to do
always
the same thing. Go ahead, Andrews.
Sorry, people always like to scoff at people that make new anime, especially shonen. They're like, "Well, that's already been done before." It's like it's called a shonen for a reason. It's literally a hero's journey. It's like start point, end point, and you're watching the big thick thing between those two things. That makes sense. That's why you're watching shonen. It's to scoff at a shonen. It's just like, oh, it's done. It's already been done before. It's like, yeah, it probably has.
Oh wow!
I do have to say one more thing before we go to.
Go ahead. I'm gonna go to the next question after you answer.
I had the biggest problem. This is every community's problem. When they compare, like you said, Aiki, when they said about different series, they always saying about the author, and that triggers me because I know some like I'm half Japanese, and like it's really kind of upsetting because it's like, okay, we need to, like, the industry is like, okay, like saying like, oh, this is like Toriyama is so good, he can't beat Oda Sensei, or you throw out all of the mangakas out there, and then when your chapter is not good, they shit on it, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it's not a hyped up chapter, but you don't go saying bad things about a mangaka. They work hard for that. Like, yes, it might not be the greatest chapter you think it is. It's not the way you imagine it or headcanon it, but you do not disrespect the author. That's all I'm saying. Just please enjoy this series, which you love.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, shonen are essentially what's the in the United States we have WrestleMania. That's essentially what shonens are. It's literally like, this is the main character, this is the guy who's gonna fight. Ding ding ding. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just like that. 300 times until he becomes the Wizard King. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. We're gonna hit this next question. Okay, this is actually a pretty long-winded one, so we're gonna have to go along with this one. You think Luck might I'm sure it says might being in fight versus Xenon, since he was scared of Xenon at the beginning of his whole arc when he went to scouting at the Diamond Kingdom. So do we think they're gonna fight? Is what they're trying to ask.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Interesting. Yeah. You know what?
I don't see why not.
Why not either?
You know?
You know what? Thinking about that, you know what? Him coming in, so just badass, just streaming in and doing his own thing in this chapter. I think it is meant for it, because he's the kind of person that always wants to fight, and that was the one time he did not want to fight. Badass, just streaming. Mm-hmm. I definitely think he needs that point. He definitely does. Yeah. I think he needs to get in there, and I think he needs to definitely fight this guy. Not saying that he's going to get beat, but definitely not saying that. But you know what? It looks like he's going to need a little bit of help. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I mean,
definitely. What do you
guys
think
fights going on right now? Like, I don't know what's going to happen next chapter. That's the point where I'm just like, Noct's hurt. But there's like 3 or 4 fights going on right now. Mm-hmm. They could even cut to something else, like the witch. But they can even cut to the Witch Queen right now, for all we know. Like, getting involved in this, like, we don't know what's going to happen this chapter. It's just craziness. I can totally see Luck getting in a fight with Xenon, though. It's just the story.
Yeah.
What about you, Kiwi?
I'm the same too. You don't know what the chapter entails. Like, honestly, is crazy. Like, I'm even shocked for myself. Like, is he gonna die? Is Asta gonna go? Is this and this? Are we gonna see more evolve, or are we gonna see more twists and turns? Like, okay.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, it's just kind of like we're at that point where we're just like, okay, wait up. Where is this going? What's next? And who else is there? You're just kind of in wait. And like, you know what? What is the Witch Queen doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, out of everything that's going on right now, I'm pretty sure she's tracking all this. I know she's gonna keep herself secluded.
Probably.
I know she's gonna keep herself secluded, but like, it's like, come on now. The entire, like, all these continents are going to war right now. You're just gonna chillax over there in the freaking Witch's Kingdom.
This latest chapter is imperfection. I don't know. I don't hate it that bad. I'm kind of just bashing it a lot, but it's just it's kind of like one of those awkward middle chapters, if that makes sense. Like,
oh yeah,
in between the action and the explanation. I don't like the Dryad thing though. We could have totally not had that.
Yeah,
we could have totally introduced that a lot later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the next portion. We'll be taking some questions, any type of questions, anything related to anime, manga, anything. Whatever you guys got in the questions, let me know. Let's see what we're looking through for now. Actually, we'll take this one right here. What kind of attack magic do you think Finaro can learn? Oh, well then. Anyone want to take this first?
I don't think he's going to learn any attack magic.
Yeah.
Frankly. And the reason why I say that is because that's kind of like his characters. Because if you attack with spatial magic, you essentially are sending a miscellaneous amount of mass to an unknown location. Whereas Finaro, whenever he warps something, he warps its total entirety to a different location, if that makes sense. So you could honestly say that Finaral's Fallen Angel Wing Beat is an attack spell, because all it does is warp somebody somewhere else. And he could just, if he wanted to, he could warp someone like 30 feet in the air and they can just fall down and hit their head somewhere.
That's definitely true. You know what? Thinking about that, if he does get an attack magic for any reason, honestly, he should be just like his little brother. That's what I think. Like, the way his magic works and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure he can take that power and launch it on someone and cut it off halfway through. He has that potential to have the same powers as his brother. Honestly, that's just one of those things he needs to progress. Not just doing teleportation, but trying to learn how to do attack powers instead of being a taxi all the time for Yami. Or sending people to the restroom while Yami's taking
His wheels.
Go ahead and send it, Kiwi-Chan.
Oh, so with Fenril learning a new attack magic or any kinds of format, I think for me, I want him to learn something, not just his brother, because I want him something unique. Like his spatial, I think he could do a lot of damage if he controls it correctly. If you think about it, his spatial magic can turn into anything. It's dangerous if you do, like, for example, he can have like he could take on some like Asta's weapon. Maybe he could borrow Asta's weapon or somebody's weapon and just like use it to slice somebody or warp it around using that kind of thing. If Asta can do something like that, then why not him? He can warp or use Vanessa's string to make things to look amazing. Like for me, I could see him using some kind of like like later on like a dagger or a weapon and just throwing it in his facial, and then you don't know when that trajectory of daggers gonna come in. So to me, I feel like that's one thing I like Fenrir can get like a dagger or a shuriken, or you can go ninjas like thing, throw it in his facial, and then comes back to where it is, just like how he did it to Asta. I feel like that's much cooler and attack than ever.
That's interesting. That's interesting because you know what? If you remember, what is the Sea Arc when they're doing this whole Sea Temple thing, how he was using his magic, Veronica, and he's putting it in multiple places, and Asta just boom, 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 going side to side, side to side. Why can't he do this with offensive spells? Like, why can't he be teleporting offensive spells all the time?
That's what I'm saying.
I legit would be waiting for these offensive spells and just be like, whoop, just boom, right in the person's face.
No, I mean, like, if he could do that and then goes everywhere, like, no, the enemy would not know where to hit. Like, honestly, like, that's some kind of thing. Even if you have a really good key, like, you don't know where it's going to come from. Like, you have to look both sides. Like, it's crazy. That's how I said it's powerful.
It was kind of hinted at. It was kind of hinted that that Veto knew key. Like, in that fight, it was kind of interesting that he knew key because I remember him muttering something about Yami watching them fight, and he sensed the fact that he was watching them fight, even though he was in a different distorted space. You can attribute that to like elf magic, but the way he fought and the way he detected stuff in that regard, he was making predictions with ki. So in that sense, you couldn't really try and reflect spells back at him, because I remember there was moments where Veto noticed that he was trying to reflect spells back at him, and Veto was immediately trying to go for Finral at that point, because Asta couldn't really stand a chance against Veto without the other two. And if there's only going to be one person standing in his way, which was Finral using his magic to reflect it, Veto was going to kill him. But because they're channeling their abilities into Asta, Veto thought he could fight Asta by himself. That's the reason why that fight went on like that. It's because Veto wanted to make him feel despair. So instead of him doing the smart thing, which was to kill Vanessa and Finral and then go on to Asta, he wanted to humor them and make them feel despair. That's what I got from that whole exchange. Like Finral, I think the whole thing about Finral's character being able to use attack magic is kind of, I like the idea of him not being able to use it, because it's the whole concept of magic reflecting the soul of the person, and his little brother kind of had a rotten childhood, and he was kind of like a rotten kid, and which was why he had the predisposition to have this attack magic that destroyed things, and you can never get it back after it was destroyed. Whereas Finral didn't want to break anything or hurt anybody, so he was like, but I don't want to hurt anybody, which is why he's a taxi, but he's gotten to the point where he could warp something without it destroying it, which in my opinion is kind of cooler than just like eliminating something from existence.
I see what you mean. Moving on to the next question. Are you guys caught up on Naruto by any chance?
Yes.
Whatsoever? Yes. Not so much for you. Okay.
No.
I think this one's a little. Let's get this next one. Yeah, you know what? If you guys have any questions, don't one out. Don't one out. We'll go with one of those questions.
There's a couple questions that you miss. Like if you
Hmm.
scroll,
Which ones you want?
they were saying about like for example, like about do you
Hey,
think
go ahead. If you had a question, go ahead and send that question one more time so we can find it while I'm scrolling. Hopefully, I can get it before you get there.
All right. Let me see. Let me find that.
What do you think? You know what? Let's take this one. Why not?
Okay.
All right.
This
Hey, you know
debate has
what?
gone on for centuries.
I don't know why this question came up, but you know what? I want to answer it.
Sakura versus Hinata
Yikes.
thoughts.
So Sakura versus Hinata.
Oh my god. Can we
Thoughts.
have a Naruto discussion later? Then we can talk about this because I
Of
Boys
have.
want
course, of
Sakura,
course.
men want Hinata. End of discussion.
Like honestly, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Hinata over Sakura. Anytime of the day. It just makes sense. Come on now. You gotta think about it. She's way faster than Sakura. And on top of that, if she does use her whole chakra diamond thing, guess what? Hinata can stop that chakra flow, no matter what. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think she's smarter and I think she's more tactical, honestly.
It depends on your definition of Sakura versus Hinata.
Mhm.
Because you could be asking an entire different question than them just going at each other with fists.
Mhm.
And I'll answer that question for you. First of all, Sakura's whole personality towards Naruto is kind of like toxic in the sense that
Yeah.
he only started caring for him when he started being cool, and Hinata always cared for him. So, anybody who's on the Sakura train, just go and step off the station right now. This Hinata train is going all the way to the station, and you guys can just get off right now.
But I see what you mean. Sakura is a great ninja as well. She is strong. She is technically one of the replacements of the other Sonings. I guess they're the three new Sonings and stuff like that. So and they're of course her husband and Naruto are god tier, which she's still Sakura. So
She's
but yeah, she is strong. But I definitely think Hinata takes the books 100%, romance wise, strength wise, just all together.
Mhm.
But you know what? Moving on from
I,
here. Go
I
ahead.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
With Hinata, I already automatically when I first saw her with Naruto, already immediately like, yep, she's gonna end up with Naruto. No questions asked. I was already think everyone was like, oh, he will end up with Sakura. It's like no, Hinata through and through, and hallelujah, my thing happened. So fight me with that. And then anyway,
She's a
anyway, back to what I'm saying is that
Oh god.
with Sakura, I like how she's a strong character. Yes, she is like some kind of a bee, and sometimes she's so mean, and sometimes it's she to her. But in a sense of her as a woman, she's a strong woman, and I actually appreciate her because yeah, she's looking back because she felt like she's always have to be distressed over, trying to keep she admits that she's trying to keep up with the boys, but she can't do it. So she tries to take a different path, and that's the medical ninjutsu. She wants to do the support route so she can go hand in hand with them in a support way. And that's why Lady Tsunade can even go to toe with Orochimaru or Jiraiya, even though I feel like
Yeah,
like
Sakura can do
Sakura,
that.
yeah, Sakura can do it. So in a sense, I feel like Sakura, as much as people hated her, I kind of have to give her the deserving of what she was trained for. Yeah, she might be a thing with Hinata. Keep in mind, Hinata was outcast by her dad. She was stained, but she showed that she is strong, that she can handle it. She had the inspirational with Naruto. She could handle it. Now you have two different backgrounds, two different lifestyle. Like to me, like yeah, you can compare. I feel like Sakura was spoiled than Hinata, and Hinata wasn't. So to me, honestly, I feel like with the comparison to the two of them, they have different backstories. They have different way of dealing lives. And Hinata has been, neglected by, the Hyuga clan and stuff like that. And her backstory. Sakura, she's been given to a lot of things. So of course her attitude is kind of spoiled or something like that, but little by little you actually can see how their two are resonating to each other, but in the same, they're like in different forces.
Very quick. I know I said this was gonna be
Mhm.
the last question, but I gotta tell this one. Our boy Dasan pushes up. Is Black Clover a Naruto ripoff, as Naruto fans say it is?
I wish it was. No, I'm serious. Like, if, in my opinion, if the demon was more of an antagonist, spoiler alert, if the demon that Asta has was more of an antagonist, I think the story would be a lot more interesting at this point. Like, if we found out he was a good guy, like, much later, like, like, he doesn't have to be a good guy now, but if it's like much later, I feel like it'd be a better story, because then it's more of a conflict of character, which is interesting. But they just kind of said, "It's my brother. I miss you, brother," and then they just gotta go into their friends again. Sorry about the arm, bro. No problem.
I'm gonna state that fact that with Black Clover. Well, before Black Clover starts, there was this controversy about Naruto and Asta, and they're like exactly alike. And I'm gonna give you facts. They're not the same. Okay? Keep in mind that Naruto was treated like a monster. He was treated not loved. They thought of him as a monster. They don't like him. They literally outcast him. Asta's backstory was different. He had family. He had people loved him. He had people that, yeah, they don't acknowledge him and stuff, but he still have those family that he had. He has different than Naruto. Naruto doesn't know what a family is until now. Even you could say Boruto was a bit like, that's why his reason is like, I don't know, I didn't have family. So yeah. But with Asta, he had so much love. So to a guy like that, he has more development than Naruto. Cause yeah, Naruto we're seeing him going to adolescence, growing up to be a strong man and his beliefs and stuff like that. With Asta, he's actually much different because he has people loved him. He knows what the outside world is, and it feels like to him you can actually it's like you could actually relate to Asta even more to Naruto. I mean, a lot of people grow up with Naruto, I understand that, but with Asta, like, he saw prejudice, he saw how the world works before Naruto did, because Naruto's seen that when like he was treated monster, he didn't even know his father figure, he didn't know that, like, hated him because of his father figure, his parents died or something like that, so he didn't know how it feels. He wanted it to, like, he's basically throwing a tantrum, Naruto is. And Asta, he already accepted, yeah, I don't have magic, I don't have this, I will train, I will show, I will prove it that I will have, I can do this with physical without any magic. And that's what I love about Asta. He proved the odds and let's go. Like, he has demon and stuff. It just became such a good story. And I feel like people need to know, stop comparing the two because they're two different entities. Like, I understand that they have similarities, but their backstory, the way they are grown up, they're too different. So I would say don't ever compare Naruto or Black Clover in sense. And I want to add one more thing before, and I wanted to add this to anything. I remember the memories about the demon. Like, remember, like, when Asta was fighting with Dante, he saw a little glimpse of his mom dying. I feel that's not his memory. That is like the demon.
Yeah, that was the demon's memory. That wasn't
that's
Asta's
the
memory.
of course.
Yeah, so I feel like Asta, because to me, like, Asta doesn't know that that's his mom, but the demon would know that that's like, oh, this
That's his
boy
mom. Yeah.
his
Yeah,
mom.
that's something else
His
that they can
memory.
cover later. But
I,
yeah,
I see what you mean on there. I see exactly what you mean. And you know what? With all the people who do say that Naruto and Black Clover are the same, all right? Just
Mhm,
exactly like what they said.
mhm.
Honestly, yeah, they say, oh, he has Karama, he has the devil. He wants to become Hokage and he wants to become the Wizard King. One is loud, the other one's loud. You're taking small comparisons. Just like what she just said, Asa's upbringing and Naruto's upbringing are two different things. Um, yeah, Naruto had a rival, but his rivalry is nothing like the bonds and brothership that and him have in their rivalry. It's two different things, completely two different things. And like I like a lot of people like to sit there and put them in the same category, but they're definitely not. Sasuke would definitely, as you already saw, he would kill Naruto, try to kill Naruto over anything else. And you know what? Honestly, would never do that to his brother. I
No, he
don't
doesn't.
think would ever do that to his brother.
Huh.
Because you know what? They grew up together and he idolizes Asta. Out of anything, he idolizes Asta. So I necessarily I do not think they're both of the same. Yeah,
I
again,
mean,
they said,
you
oh,
know,
Kakashi got
wants
Yami.
to be the Wizard King because he wants to do the same thing as Asta, like, give him
Uh,
a better life. And actually, so why would you compare that to Sasuke? Sasuke wants a revenge path. Doesn't. Why would he revenge path on anything? He doesn't even know his parents. So there's no point.
mhm.
yeah, that's something to say about Black
Exactly.
Clover. Something that's always been kind of unique to me is like the concept of rival, which is
Mhm.
best explained by Yami in that short story. Whereas like while two people may walk different paths, they still are
Mhm.
going to the same destination. Like that's what it's all about, and I find that pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly. You know what, guys? Moving on from here. That actually this wraps it all up. Very quick. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of this content, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and comment below. Please comment below. One big thank you from all of us from Otaku International. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See ya.